Welcome. We're back, and this time we're going to do things a bit differently. I'm just back from the World Brewers Championship in Boston, where I managed to get to second place. And what we want to do here is share, reflect, to some degree analyze my whole kind of trip to the World Championships, being at the World Championships, what went right, what went wrong, right? So first of all, and I should say this, and it's something that I advocate quite often and quite clearly, is that, always learn from the best. We're very aware we're second place, we're not the first place. There was things we could have done better, and the videos that we're doing now is in no way, it's simply to share what we did. Whether that was a good or a bad thing to do, that's up to you guys to decide, but at least you had the opportunity of basically seeing or getting an insight in what I did. So if there's something useful there, then you guys can use it as well. So we're basically gonna do 12 small videos, each kind of focusing on different subjects that I believe to have been important in this process. And the first video, and part of this one, I just want to talk a bit about the national competition, because that's step one. People ask me if I want to compete again. The answer to that is pretty clear, and I think you guys know as well. I always compete because competing is about learning. It's not necessarily about getting certain results. I think results is a result of you practicing and learning. I will be competing for as long as I'm in coffee. Which competition I will compete in, that will be a different story. However, it's important to understand, and I've seen people do this in Boston now, I've seen people do it before, and I know it's hard to relate to if you haven't been in the World Championship, but your national competition and your world competition are two vastly different things. People often argue that it's part of the same system, so the judges should be very similarly calibrated. Your points in the national should be representative of the world scores. It very clearly isn't. We've seen countries that goes into the World Championship with a national score of open service 90 plus up towards 100, and they go into the World Championship and the score much lower. And part of that is the calibration of the judges. Part of that is that it is the World Championship. They're looking for more. They're looking for you to be better. So from my perspective, I changed quite a lot from my national in Sweden in February and being in Boston now. I mainly changed because I believe that for every time you compete, you should always do better, right? There's no use in doing the same because there's always a better version of what you have done. So therefore, it makes sense to try to progress there, right? From someone then that's been competing first in the Brazil Championship and now in the Boston Championship, there's differences between the World Championships, right? So even there, it depends on how the panel of judges are calibrated. It depends on who is judging. It depends on a lot of different variables. So it's never be in a situation where you feel that, oh, I scored really high in my national, or I won my national, and therefore I can be kind of comfortable to go to the World Championship and just do the same, because most likely it's not going to work out for you, because they are looking for different things. They're putting it on a higher level, which I think they should, because it is the World Championship, right? So keep that in mind and really take help with people in your national for the World Championship. And that's interesting because it works the other way around. It's not necessarily that you can go back to your national and then use all the feedback in the World Championship, because sometimes the national judges are also not looking for the World Championship judges, right? So each competition is very difficult, and this should be handled and focused individually. So this was the first part of it. Stay tuned for more.